So when we're talking about our other players, what I'd like to start with are our all-in-one players. In fact, they're probably two of the most popular units that we sell today. With our all-in-one players, we've got the Sonos Play5. It's named Play5 because it's a 5-speaker system, 2 tweeters, 2 mid-range, and a powered sub. So it's 5 speakers, and it plays music. Hence the reason it's Play5. Not only does it have 5 speakers, but each speaker has its own dedicated Class D digital amplifier. So it's 5 speakers and 5 amps, and I'm telling you, this is designed to rock any size room in your home. From a great room, to a living room, to the den, to even outside, and it still works for the bedroom and things like that as well. Now, when we're talking about our all-in-ones, we also have our latest edition, the Play 3. So with our Play 3, again, just like on the Play 5, the 3 stands for 3 speakers. It's got 2 mid-range and a tweeter, and then it has a bass radiator on the back. Now with our Play 3, some other cool features around it. Again, like the Play 5, it has 3 dedicated Class D digital amplifiers, so each speaker has its own amp. Can also be set up horizontally or vertically. When it's horizontal, it plays in stereo. When you tip it vertically, say you've got a tight spot or you want to put it up on a shelf, tip it vertically, you wouldn't want stereo now running up and down, so it has a built-in accelerometer, sometimes known as like a gyroscope, that automatically detects the positioning of the player, and when you put it vertically, changes the EQ and puts it into a wide dispersion mono. So it's wide dispersion mono when it's vertical, flip it back down to horizontal, and it automatically goes back into stereo mode. So yeah, very, very cool. You know, with our Class D digital amplifiers, a couple of things about them is, one, because they are a Class D digital amplifier, they are extremely efficient. What I mean is on our digital amplifiers, 90% of the power goes towards music, only 10% of the power is dissipated as heat. And to kind of put that in perspective to what we're used to with a normal analog amplifier or receiver, you know, we always hear this receiver has 100 watts per channel. Well, of that 100 watts on an analog amplifier, of that 100 watts, only 50 watts, about half of it, is going towards sound. The other 50 watts is dissipated as heat. So again, they use more energy, they're not as efficient. With our Class D digital amplifiers, extremely efficient, require less power, and put out just the same amount of music. The other cool thing about all of our players, when they're muted or paused or there's just no music playing through them, they automatically drop down into a state of readiness, or almost like a standby mode, drawing hardly any power whatsoever. So that way we can also stay eco-friendly with our entire system. Now, when we're talking about the Play 5 and the Play 3, some of the comparisons, on the back there are a few things that are a little bit different. Like I said, the Play 5 is our original, designed for any size room in your house. It's got 2 Ethernet jacks, just like we showed on the bridge. So say, for instance, your router is in that same room that you initially want to listen to music. You don't need the bridge. Just connect it straight to the Play 5. So you can use any one of our players as well. Also has an auxiliary line in. So it's got a line in here. Say somebody comes over with their MP3 player, their iPod, or maybe you've got an old CD player, or you just want to hook up maybe the sound from your TV. Any audio can go into the back of the Play 5. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to play through the Play 5. Here's the beauty of it. By connecting it in through the auxiliary input, you've now taken that music from that other device, like I said, iPod, MP3 player, CD player, TV, and you've integrated it into the Sonos network. So now maybe I've taken an iPod, I've connected into here, and this is in the living room, but I want to listen to it in the bedroom. I can listen to it up in the bedroom now. I don't have to listen to it in the same device that it's connected to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. It allows you to then integrate other devices into your Sonos network. It does have a headphone jack, so if you don't want to wake up the family, you can plug in a pair of headphones. And here's the other cool thing where it says carrying handle. The handle is actually the base port for the back of it, but it doubles as a handle because it's portable. you can move these from room to room. I've got one in my den plugged in. My wife likes to unplug it, take it out to the patio, plug it in. It takes about 30 seconds or so to reconnect to the system, and then she's got music outside. When she's done, she unplugs it, brings it back inside the house, plugs it in. About 30 seconds later, it reconnects, and we've got music again in the den. Now with the Play3, Play3 is really designed, still has great Sonos digital sound quality. Really designed for more of like a bedroom, guest room, kitchen type area. You know, not so much for a great room or a big family room or a really big living room. And it has one Ethernet jack. It's the only unit that we have that only has one, but we did that to bring the cost down to get it to that right price point of $299. The other cool things about it, like we said, can be set either vertically or horizontally, and that means it can also be wall mounted. We've got it already threaded right here for your standard speaker mount. So any standard speaker mount that'll hold at least an 8-pound speaker, which is about where they start, will hold the Play3. The Play3 weighs a little less than 6 pounds. And again, it can be mounted on the wall, or it can actually be mounted from the ceiling with a ceiling mount. So, and they can be positioned horizontally or vertically when they're mounted as well. Now, as far as connecting a Play5 or a Play3 to your system, just as easy as it was setting it up with the bridge, or you could also set it up with your player. Here's how it goes. You take the unit, you plug it in. It's kind of a plug, push, and play. You plug it in, you wait for the little light to stop flashing, you press 2 buttons. You notice here there's a mute button, volume up and volume down. You press the volume up and the mute button at the same time. You don't have to hold them down, sit there and wait or anything. Just click them both at the same time and watch the magic happen. It then connects to your network. Again, couldn't get easier. Once you've done that, we're ready to play all the music on earth. We're ready to play any of our music in our music library. That would be any music that we currently own, that we've already downloaded or we've ripped, that's on a PC or a Mac or a NAS drive or your iPod or your iPhone. Being able to listen to radio stations. You click on this, you can click on location, brings up all 7 continents, and then you're checking which continent you want to listen to music from. You can even listen to music from Antarctica. I didn't even know there was a station there. But there's one, it's folk music, so folk's your thing. Tune into Antarctica. And then over a dozen streaming services, all available to listen to, all at the touch of a button. You can listen to different music services. You can make playlists where maybe you've taken a song from Opio, another song from Mog, another song from Rdio, another song from Slacker, another one from Rhapsody, and you put it all in a list. It'll play that playlist all from different streaming services. So it is very, very cool. So at this point, how many of you would like to set up a Sonos system right here live during this training today? Yes?
Yes.
Very cool. So I need a volunteer. Somebody who's going to volunteer? Cool. Thank you very much. Need a volunteer. What we're going to be doing is we're going to set up the system in just a second. When it comes to setting up Sonos, we have really 3 different ways we could set it up and control the system. One is through our free apps that are available for Apple and Android products like iPod Touch, iPhone, iPad, also for Android products, Android phones, Android tablets, so we're good to go there. We also have free desktop software too that'll take any PC or Mac and turn it into a controller, and we also have an app for the new Kindle Fire too. So if a customer owns a Kindle Fire, they've also got a controller to work with Sonos. So what we're going to use right now and show is the free desktop application that comes in the box, because that's the first thing the customer is going to see. Now it comes in the box. In the event they happen to throw away the disc, or they put it on the floor and step on it or whatever, they don't have to sweat it, because you can also download it, the latest version, right from our website too. It's always free. Once it's downloaded and it's installed, it is ready to go. It's on your laptop or on your desktop, and you're ready to set up your Sonos system. So at this point, let's switch over here. I'm going to turn on and activate our Sonos control. And now, when you turn on the controller for the very first time, it even tells you, first we'll connect to a Sonos component. Please ensure that a Sonos component is plugged in and connected to your router using an Ethernet cable. Then click Next. Sound cool?
Yes.
Okay, come on, volunteer.
Yes.
What's your name again?
I'm Brent.
Brent, come on right over here.
Yes.
So we've got our Sonos gear here, we've got our router here, and we said that it all starts with most of our customers with either the bridge or a player. So for today's purposes, we're actually going to do both, just to show you how you could use one or the other. Is that cool?
Yes.
So what did we say you have to do with the bridge?
Connect it to your home router first.
Go ahead.
And plug it in.
And plug it in, absolutely. Now, if you take a look, once you plug it in, on the top here you've got a blinking white light. Got to wait for that light to turn solid, and then you'll press that button. Okay. Meanwhile, while we're waiting, it says to click next. We're going to click next. And here it even shows you whether you're using a player to start with, or you're going to use the bridge. If it's a player, you're going to press the mute and the volume up button at the same time. If it happens to be the bridge, it's just a one-button push. So as soon as that button, that light stops blinking and turns solid, which normally takes about 30 to 45 seconds, then we'll push that button, and then you'll see it kind of activate and start your Sonos network. Is that cool?
Great.
Cool. So it's blinking here. Got a couple more, probably a few more seconds for this to blink in. If you notice on the back, we did have the two ports, so in the event you had to unplug something from the router, you could have plugged it in here. Blinking is stopped. Press the button, and boom, we have now connected, and you have just set up your Sonos wireless network. Does it get any easier?
No.
No, I mean super easy. So once we click finish, here's now the desktop software. It says we only have a bridge, but we need to also connect some components. Well, for our purposes here for the training, we're also going to use one of our components as though it were the bridge as well. Because remember, there's a bridge really built into every one of these. So let's use the Play5. So if you were going to start your system off with the Play5, what would you do?
You want to connect this to the router as well?
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, so if the router's in the same room that you're going to start your Sonos network in, absolutely. And then
plug this in.
Plug it in. Now, same thing. You're going to notice the light's going to come on. It's going to start blinking, and then we'll do the two-button push to get that started. Sound cool?
Great.
Cool. So I'm just going to come over here. It instructs us on here, add a Sonos component, because it's looking for one. So we're going to click on Add a Sonos Component. Same screen pops up, shows you if it's a player, you got to press the two buttons. If it happens to be a bridge, it's that single button push. Then we're going to be ready to go. We're going to press those two buttons.
Sure.
You're going to see it connect. It's going to connect for the very first time, and because this is a player, we're actually going to name it as well.
Okay.
So we're going to name it so we know what room it's in. You know, when we take a look at the back of the player, you know, while this is still kind of booting up, here's your two slots, just like we had on the bridge. So if you're going to use this to start off your network, you can easily unplug one out of the router, put it in, plug it in. You've also got your headphone jack, if you want to listen to it with headphones. Also your auxiliary in, if you want to take a MP3 player, iPod, anything like that, plug it in and put it on your Sonos network to either play through here or really through anywhere in the house. And then the base port on the back acts as a handle, so you can move it from room to room. Pretty cool?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's press those two buttons. Coming up to connect. And again, because this is the very first time we've ever plugged this in, it does take a few seconds longer. Anyways, as you can tell, this is the living room. If we wanted to change it, it does have a drop down, and we can change it to any other room. Master bedroom, media room, office. But for our purposes here, let's leave it as living room.